Photographing wildlife is an art form that highlights the splendor of the natural world. It entails preserving moments of life in great detail, capturing fascinating and often elusive species in their natural environments. Technical proficiency is essential, but a strong affinity for nature, patience, and a knowledge of animal behavior are all necessary for success in this type of photography. Photographers who specialize in wildlife spend long periods of time in remote locations. They provide people a glimpse into the fascinating and varied world of animals, making them wonder and maybe leading them to care more about protecting the planet's ecosystems. 1. Panasonic Lumix DMC FZ2000 is the best for beginners in the world of wildlife photography. The FZ2000's main draw is its 20x zoom lens, equivalent to a 24 to 480 mm full-frame lens. That suits all save the timid themes. The lens may zoom out to see large animals in their habitat. Its 1-inch sensor is larger than inexpensive bridge cameras, boosting image quality. This amazing zoom range and 12 frames per second for 30 RAW files or 100 JPEGs let you record split-second moments. Shoot 64K frames at 30 frames per second, or 8MP, with Panasonic's 4K photo mode for unexpected action. A 3 inches 1.04 vari-angle screen and 2.36 OLED viewfinder with 0.74x magnification provide high and low-angle photography. Telephoto zoom lenses may be pricey, therefore this camera is ideal for budget-conscious folks. A glance. Compact/bridge. CMOS 20.1 MP. Same as 24 to 480 mm. Aperture 2.8 to 4.5. 49-point autofocus. Continuous 12 frames per second shooting. 20 million pixel 1-inch CMOS. 24 to 480 mm f/2.8-4.5. ISO 100 to 25600. Constant 4K video recording. 2K 3 Mark III. The most advanced APS-C DSLR, the K3 Mark III, may interest wildlife photographers. It supports 12 frames per second and continuous AF. The 101-point autofocus system contains 41 user-selectable points and a moving topic recall. Details are captured adequately at ISO 51200 by the 25.7 MP sensor. A strong, waterproof chassis with outside controls is typical Pentax. The K3 Mark III sports the largest optical viewfinder on an APS-C DSLR and is compatible with most K-mount lenses. New third-party long telephotos are few. Still, Pentax users looking to enhance their wildlife game should consider it. Overview of Pentax K3 Mark III. 25.7 MP APS-C sensor. ISO 100 to 1,600,000. Continuous 12 frames per second shooting. Pentaprism 0.7x. 3.2 inches, 1.62 m. Touchscreen. In-body image stabilization. 3. RX10-4. The Sony RX10 IV's 24mm lens is landscape-friendly, but its longer lens lets you frame distant animals better than the Panasonic FZ2000. Wildlife photographers may love the strong focusing technology next. Speed and precision are achieved by its 315 phase and contrast detection AF points covering 65% of the image sensor. In full-resolution 20MP RAW, it sharpens moving subjects and stays focused at 24 frames per second. Use a 2.36 OLED viewfinder with 0.7x magnification and a 3-inch 1.44 m tilting screen to compose photographs. This is ideal for enthusiast photographers because to its many external manual settings. This 1-inch sensor bridge tiny is best. Sony CyberShot RX10-4 Overview, Compact/Bridge. 1.0 CMOS 20.1 MP. Same as 24 to 600 mm. f/2.4-4 lens. 315-point autofocus. Continuous 24 frames per second shooting. Ultra-long zoom. A full autofocus system. HQ 24 frames per second RAW. Costly bridge camera. Missing joystick and AF on. 4. Alpha A9 II. Sony's real-time IAF and tracking modes pioneered eye detection AF. Silently shooting at 20 frames per second without viewfinder blackout, the A9 II can detect and track animal eyes. Even at small sizes, autofocus can track birds in flight as they approach the camera. Due to noise reduction, the 24MP full-frame sensor captures great detail at low to mid-range ISOs. Like the A7, the A9 II includes top-plate autofocus and driving controls and a compact body. Unlike its higher-resolution competitors, data are recorded to dual UHS-2 SD card slots, so you don't need expensive CFexpress media. Sony added various long E-mount lenses throughout time. Tamron and Sigma provide appealing third-party options not accessible in Canon RF or Nikon Z mounts. See top Sony E-mount lenses for more options. Sony Alpha A9 II Overview, mirrorless. Full-frame 24MP stack CMOS. E-mount Sony lens. 693-point AF topic detection. 20 frames per second continuous shooting. Great bird autofocus. Good noise control. Useful top plate dials. 5. Best professional wildlife camera, Sony Alpha 1. Sony Alpha 1 can shoot 30 frames per second with AF tracking and has double the resolution of the A9 II. Wildlife photographers will love real-time IAF for birds, animals, and humans. AI-based real-time tracking recognizes individuals using color, pattern, and subject distance data to keep up with fast-moving events. With slightly over 50 million pixels, the A1 can crop distant things well. Noise is well controlled at ISO 12800, making it suitable for early morning and late night shooting. Hybrid cameras like 30 frames per second 8K and 4K. The small body handles well, yet the bright, 9.4M viewfinder provides 0.9x magnification. The A1 is ideal for most photography. Sony Alpha 1 Overview. Mirrorless. Stack CMOS full-frame 50.1MP sensor. E-mount Sony lens. Finding 759-point AF patience. 30 frames per second continuous shooting. Excellent image quality. Greatest autofocus system. Large, high-res viewfinder. 6. Wildlife photography is great with Nikon D7500. The enthusiast Nikon D7500 has the same 20.9MP DX, APS-C, sensor as the Pro D500. This has great noise control at ISO 100 to 51200 but poorer detail resolution than 24MP or 26MP cameras. A fast, precise 51-point AF system with 15 cross-type points is provided for viewfinder shooting. Dynamic area AF follows the subject with 9, 21, or 51 points. Larger groups are appropriate for bigger topics, but the 9-point choice is the most reliable. Live view with the tilting rear screen has poor contrast detect AF, so avoid it for wildlife shooting. Carbon fiber monocoque structure makes the D7500 lightweight, sturdy, and dust and moisture proof. The Nikon F lens mount accommodates several full-frame and APS-C, DX, lenses. See the best Nikon F mount lenses for more options. Nikon D7500 Overview. DSLR. 20.9MP APS-C sensor. Nikon F mount lenses. 51-point autofocus. Continuous 8 frames per second shooting. Lightweight but tough. Many lens options. Good noise control. Bad live view AF. Only one card slot. 7. Nikon D500. The Nikon D500 is a 20.9MP professional DX format DSLR like the D7500. Most specifications, such as autofocus, shooting speed, and build quality, are better than its cheaper companion. All important controls are at your fingertips, so it handles wonderfully. Wildlife photographers prefer the D500's noise suppression and focusing, although some wish more resolution. To resist harsh animal photography situations, the robust camera incorporates weather sealing to keep dust and moisture out. One slot accepts high-speed XQD or CFexpress cards for 200 RAW frames at 10 frames per second. Second-hand Nikon D500s abound. Useful utilized examples with 100,000 shutter frames cost £750, body only. An excellent one with fewer shutters costs £800 to £850. The D500 is one of the best APS-C DSLRs ever made and suited for Nikon clients who prefer to photograph fast, chaotic wildlife. See our top Nikon F-mount lenses for inspiration. Nikon D500 Preview. DSLR. 20.9MP APS-C sensor. Nikon F-mount lenses. 153-point autofocus. 10 frames per second continuous shooting. Great control layout. Autofocus tracking intelligence. All-weather seals. Somewhat low resolution. 8. Nikon Z8. Nikon Z may 8 be dual-camera spiritual successor. It functions like Nikon Z9 mirrorless flagship in a smaller, cheaper body. Nikon calls it a true successor to the Nikon D850, a DSLR loved by enthusiast and professional wildlife photographers for its ability to shoot difficult shots in difficult conditions. Nikon Z8 fills large shoes. This camera, like the Z9, can focus quickly and grab onto anything, including animals, using AI. This device increases hit rate, as we found in our review. Excellent image quality and fast burst modes ensure you never miss a moment. Reducing the camera body requires cutting anything. Nikon Z8 EL15C batteries last 340 photographs per charge, whereas Z9 batteries last 740. Pack spares and charge the camera through USB-C for a wildlife photography day. Nikon Z8 Preview. Mirrorless. Stack CMOS 45.7 MP full-frame sensor. Nikon Z-mount lens. Finding 493 point AF patience. 20 frames per second continuous shooting. Excellent autofocus subject detection. Smaller than most pro cameras. Excellent raw image quality. Shorter battery life than Z9. 9. Canon EOS 90D. Canon created the EOS 90D for hobbyist photographers with strong features and external controls. Wildlife photographers may get the maximum detail from faraway objects with the 32.5 MP APS-C sensor. It shoots 10 frames per second in viewfinder and 11 frames per second in live view. Whether you utilize the optical viewfinder or 3 inches variangle touchscreen to compose, EOS 90D employs fast and precise phase detection autofocus. The Canon EF lens mount enables the EOS 90D use several lenses, including APS-C optimized EFS lenses. Canon and third-party manufacturers create great long telephotos. Check out the best Canon EF lenses for more options. The EOS 90D is ideal for Canon DSLR fans. Canon EOS 90D Overview. DSLR. 32.5 MP APS-C CMOS. EF/EFS Canon mount. 45-point autofocus. 10 frames per second continuous shooting. Huge lens selection. A lot of pixels. Long battery life. Some cameras burst faster. Old autofocus system. 10. Best cheap nature Canon mirrorless, EOS R7. Like the EOS 90D, Canon's latest APS-C model has a 32.5 MP sensor under the mirrorless RF mount. A smaller, lighter chassis allows faster shooting and better focusing. EOS R7 inherits subject recognition AF for animals, humans, and vehicles from the high-end full-frame EOS R3. The EOS R7's mechanical shutter shoots 15 frames per second and the silent electronic shutter 30 frames per second. A high-resolution sensor and 1.6x crop factor offer detailed photos of faraway objects. Canon DSLR owners should be acquainted with its functionality, however, the back dial/joystick is unfamiliar. Our main issue is the lack of basic zooms for APS-C RFS lenses. Animal photographers benefit from lightweight telephotos like the RF 100 to 400 mm f5.6-8. EOS R7 mount adapters operate with EF mount DSLR lenses. Canon EOS R7 Overview. Mirrorless. 32.5 MP APS-C CMOS. Canon lens RF mount. 5915 point AF subject detection. Shooting 30 frames per second. AF topic recognition. High resolution APS-C sensor. Max 30 frames per second burst. Very few RFS lenses. They're unweatherproof. 11. Best Canon wildlife mirrorless, EOS R3. Canon's top mirrorless camera shares the EOS 1DX Mark III DSLR's strong, weather-sealed body, integrated vertical grip with portrait format controls, and large high-capacity battery. Electronic shutter speeds are 30 frames per second and mechanical shutter speeds are 12 frames per second. Both speeds include full autofocus and metering. The subject identification algorithm hierarchically recognizes animal eyes, faces, and bodies, focusing on visible eyes, which is great for wildlife photographers. Also, Canon's eye control focus technology allows you pick a topic from various viewfinder possibilities. It helps you focus on photo composition and timing. Canon wildlife photographers with money have no better alternative. Canon EOS R3 Overview. Mirrorless. Stack CMOS 24.1 MP full-frame sensor. Canon lens RF mount. 1053.AF subject detection. 30 frames per second continuous shooting. Check AF visually. Focusing with eyes works. Weatherproof, durable design. Very pricey. No third-party lenses. 12. Best mid-range Fujifilm wildlife camera, X-T4. Many amateur photographers carry the small, sturdy X-T4. Fujifilm offers APS-C compatible 70 to 300 mm, 100 to 400 mm, and 150 to 600 mm telephoto zooms. These attract wildlife photographers. The menu customizable 425-point intelligent hybrid AF system follows fast-moving targets and optimizes hit rate. Mechanical shutter, 15 frames per second, electronic shutter, 20 frames per second. Shooting at 30 frames per second for 60 lossless compressed RAW files at 17 MP requires a 1.25x reduction. X-T4 RAW files are fantastic, but the camera also produces great JPEGs. Avoid loading cards with RAW burst shooting files. Fujifilm X-T4 Review. Mirrorless. 26 MP APS-C CMOS. Fuji X lens mount. 425-point autofocus. 20 frames per second continuous shooting. Top JPEG quality. Variety of bursts. Intelligent autofocus. Aging slightly. No touchscreen menus. 13. Best Fujifilm nature camera, XH2S. Fujifilm's X-System flagship model attracts wildlife photographers wanting a cheaper full-frame. Its 26.2 MP APS-C stacked CMOS sensor provides silent 40 frames per second shooting for 140 frames and outstanding mobility. With a CF Express card, the camera can shoot continuously at 15 frames per second. The company's first animal and avian subject recognition autofocus technology and most vehicle choices are in XH2S. Fujifilm replaced analog dials with customizable electronic interfaces. The mode slider lets users save up to 6 shooting settings for varied scenarios. The majority of XF lenses and bodies are waterproof for outdoor shooting. See the top Fujifilm X-mount lenses for alternatives. Compact lenses provide excellent telephoto reach because of the 1.5x crop factor of the APS-C sensor. It is perfect for long-distance wildlife photography. Fujifilm XH2S Overview. Mirrorless. APS-C 26.2 MP stack CMOS. Fuji X lens mount. Identifying 425-point AF patients. 40 frames per second continuous shooting. Subject recognition autofocus. Up to 40 frames per second silent burst. Weatherproof thoroughly. Too pricey for APS-C. 14. Best Olympus/OM System Wildlife Camera, OM1. The Olympus OM1, the OMD-EM1 Mark III's replacement, is for outdoor, adventure, and wildlife photographers. AI detection AF may target cars, motorbikes, planes, helicopters, trains, birds, and animals. The camera may need to be focused, but bird and animal detection works effectively and prioritizes the eyes. Additionally, the OM1 fires rapidly. It can shoot 50 frames per second with AF tracking on most Olympus Pro lenses, 25 frames per second with others, or 120 frames per second with fixed focus. A unique Pro record mode buffers frames before the shutter button is fully pressed, allowing you to catch impossible situations. The OM1's 4/3 sensor produces photographs with double the focal length of a full-frame camera. A 300mm lens has the same reach as a 600mm lens on full-frame, so wildlife photographers benefit from lighter, cheaper gear. See the greatest micro 4/3 lenses for alternatives. System Overview OM1. Mirrorless. 20.47 MP 4/3 stack CMOS. The M4/3 lens mount. 1053-point AF topic detection. 50 frames per second continuous shooting. Top AF system. Fast shooting. Expand your reach using MFT. Smaller sensor.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more updates.